Hey! Welcome back to Dragonborn Industries Painting Up the Monster Manual episode 13, the Behir, which I've spelt wrong in the box beneath me. I put an A on everything we've done, and it's meant to be an E.
I meant to message you actually because I was looking and I was searching for the monster and I put in BAH and I was like, why isn't it bloody coming up?
And I know exactly what I've done there. I have messaged somebody looking for the miniature to see if the shop could get it in, and I spelt it wrong. And since then, it has been cemented in my mind that is how you spell it. So everybody point and laugh at this dickhead right here who's put the wrong spelling on absolutely everything we put out this week. But that's fine. Hey, one and all, how are we doing? So hello to Diggs by the Way 7. That's good to see you. Welcome to chat. This is Painting Up the Monster Manual, where we spend 1 hour. We put a timer on, and we have 1 hour to paint up the mini. And this next one in the Monster Manual is the Behir. Last week was the Basilisk. We did the Banshee before that, and we are going through them one at a time. But at the same time, I make Richard roll a random level 3 character. To which end, have you got a random level 3 character rolled up and ready?
I have indeed.
Awesome. So that's the D&D Beyond feature where you can randomize a character. And he's going to be rolling initiative for an encounter with whatever creature that we're on, and this week being the Behir. Last week, we smashed out the paintwork in about 10 minutes, didn't we? Was it last week or was it the week before?
A week before, we had a week off, but last time here on Painting the Minis, we did knock it out literally in about 10-20 minutes.
Yeah, and it left us loads of time for the combat. And I think what's going to happen this time round with this being a CR11 creature is it's going to last about 2 or 3 minutes at most, maybe even 1 turn, and then we're going to have loads of time for painting. So feel free to ask us questions. Maybe we can focus on doing a better paint job. But the aim of the show is to show you that you don't need to be a master painter for D&D. You can be tabletop ready, hopefully within an hour, and that's the aim of the show, is to try and get something ready to throw down for your players and your parties here and there. So, Richard, first of all, let's say hello to you. Tell us who you are, where people can find you, and tell me what your favourite cake is.
Favourite cake is fruit cake, always, you know.
What?
Yeah, I've got to have a proper fruit cake.
Okay, we already have to stop right fucking there. Fruit cake.
Fruit cake.
Now, I might have to change the soundtrack because that's dark. I think that you have stepped over a line. 2 seconds.
You're not going to tell me you're a Victoria Sponge boy, are you?
Fuck no. Richard, fruit does not belong in any form of dessert. Daddy is talking. Daddy is talking.
Sorry, Daddy.
Fruit, like and I've had this conversation on stream before. Raisins and dates and figs can all fuck off. The closest you should ever get to a vegetable or a fruit with sugar is a carrot cake, because that one is about acceptable. Nuts, absolutely fine. Cover it in chocolate, absolutely fine. You put fucking raisins or fruit near something and it does not belong. The closest you can get to a cake with fruit is a trifle, and that's not even a cake. and that better be like the worst sugary of fruits that is in the bottom of that trifle. And if you can just get rid of them altogether, then you should. But the best cake out there, and you were completely wrong, is the red velvet cake.
Red velvet? I'll give you a carrot cake because that is a damn good cake.
Fluffy Cat said malt loaf. You can fuck off, Fluffy.
Oh, fuck yeah, a good bit of malt loaf, a nice bit of thick butter.
That's like choosing saurine and going, oh, I really love a saurine. Fuck off, are you 5? No.
I can't eat it anymore.
Good.
It's heartbreaking.
Oh, no. Right. Now that Rich has broken my heart.
Oh, I'll give you a cuddle later.
Oh, you're on. Right. Richard,
anyway, while he's recovering from that, I am Richard from Warrior Prince 3D. We are a lovely little 3D printing company. We print anything you need, from tabletop to collectible to statues to cosplay to pretty much anything I can fit on the printers. We're on Etsy, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Drop me a message if there's anything you can't find on the store, or there's anything in particular you're looking for. We print Hero Forge minis, change the size of them as well if you need it. Pretty much anything you can think of, anything you can wonder about. main area focus is D&D. So especially if you're after that particular character you want, there's all sorts of options out there, and there's all sorts of things we can look for and do. So drop me a message or drop me a comment if you'd like.
And you are so. One of the things that we do here, and one of the reasons that I wanted Richard to take part in the show, is that I'm trying to do this challenge, not necessarily on the cheap, but as a beginner would, like maybe buying and I'm trying to get the WizKids minis for every single one of these. But WizKids don't have minis for each one of these, and although they're nice and cheap, sometimes you have to go in and find a proxy somewhere else, and this is where Richard steps in. And Richard's doing for every one of these a print that he has done himself, or is supplying me when WizKids don't have one. So I'm going with the WizKids Behir this week, and once more, we have a mini that comes free of its base without me having to cut it and show you my dumped strength stat. And it's a big mini. I mean, like, it's almost as big as the spider I found in my house yesterday that was dead, that has gone missing today. So,
Dude, burn the house down. I saw that thing, just burn it.
Oh, mate, honestly, I left it to dry on the draining board on a piece of tissue so that I could put it into a dice. It's not there this morning.
Yeah, I'll be out.
So I'm doing the WizKids Behir. Richard, what are you printing and painting?
So today, I am going with the Behir from Flesh of Gods. And these guys are a new merchant license with us at Warrior Prince. Basically, I'm working on getting a lot of their stuff loaded up onto the Etsy. But the detail on these are incredible. I've started printing them lately, some of their minis, some of their characters, but this is the second bigger creature of theirs I've printed. This is available to anyone on the stream for £30. That is UK postage if anyone was to want it. Its normal price is going to be £35 on the store, and that is the model as it comes, like that, with a base.
Oh, I like that base. It's weird that, like, anytime I look at, like, 3D prints, and when I do a 3D print, I end up looking at the bases before I do the mini now, and I'm like, what else could I use that for? And I find that, like, I did it yesterday, like, as we were looking through the Army Painter stuff, I was, like, looking at the bases, like, you know what, I might just use those for something else, because they're really cool.
Well, 9 times out of 10, when I get fails and stuff like that, I've got drawers of bases where I've kept the base of models and bits and pieces like that, just because they are useful, so much for other bits and pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely not worth throwing things away when it comes to 3D printing and stuff. And I was saying to Pete yesterday, who's a kit basher in the local area, we anything that I get that 3D prints and fails, I try and turn into a piece of terrain, or try and turn into something so like I'm not just throwing it in landfill. But yeah, so
or I practice paint on them.
Yeah, it's another fantastic thing to do. Is and there's always a way to use them to not just like have them go into landfill. But let's talk about the Behir to begin with before we go into the encounter and to our painting, because obviously we have an hour. I've got the clock ready to go. And I think I know what I'm going to do. So this is quite a blue, like dark blues and light blues mixes with like lightning and stuff. So we'll see. But the Behir is a huge monstrosity. The actual base for this is a 3-inch diameter. So if you are playing in D&D, that's a 15-foot base. So it is about the size of my palm. And again, you can see the mini on there. This thing is designed to swallow characters whole. And your characters can be pretty big. It is a CR11. This is a huge creature for somebody at level 3 to be fighting. So if you're a DM out there that's just trying to flex, maybe this is a bit too much of a flex. And I think we're going to see that today in this encounter. Because each week I do get Rich to only roll a level 3 character, which isn't even the base for a CR3, because you need 4 members of a party to make it an average fight. The action economy on this is going to be silly. It's got like...
I'm going to die in the first round. Let's not be around the bush.
Pretty much, I think that's what's going to happen today. So don't get too attached to this character. But its stat block is pretty monstrous for a monstrosity. But the most key notable items are the intelligence stat. Just like the basilisk and just like other monstrosities, this is the dump stat. It's a -2, so it's a 7 intelligence. Everything else, Richard, is in the plus. These things are huge. They are like serpentine. They are like lizards. They've got like 4 sets of legs. They've got 8 legs, and they can slither, or they can crawl. They can climb. They find like the most hard to get places and perfect ambush sites, because they are designed and created by the first giants to kill dragons. They are not to be fucked with. So, I think we're going to get a lot of focus on the paint today, because I don't think the combat's going to last that far.
No, especially considering I've literally just looked at their starting, the guide of their hit points pool.
Yeah, and I may as well tell everybody right now. I'm going to give everybody the whole stat block and everything now. Usually we do this as we go, but I don't think there's going to be much time to talk about each one after one attack. So, I mean, the armor class is 17. That's our magic number. That's the low one for this level, because that is natural armor. They don't wear armor or anything like that. Their hit points are an average of 168. What's your highest you can possibly swing with a crit? I mean, what class and race are you, actually? Because I don't know yet.
So I am Francesca, the Turtle Artificer.
No, you're fucked.
Yep. If I was to crit on my best spell, you're looking at 68.
Okay. I mean, that's, what, 40...
But saying that, it's a dex saving throw, so I couldn't crit.
No. So it's just 68.
So it'd just be 3d8 if that hit.
Oh, wow.
I can't crit on it.
So... Yeah, we know how this is going to go. Hello. Yeah. Hope you're really well. We're talking about the monster stat block before we get into painting or doing anything, because this is going to last about 30 seconds. So yeah, 168 hit points, and you're probably not even going to scratch that. It has a speed of 50 foot. No matter, even if you disengage and run, this thing is catching you.
Yeah, it's gonna get you.
It also has a climb speed of 40 feet. So if it wants to go on the roof and be out of range and then lightning breath you, it can. Because that's one of its abilities, but we'll get to that in a minute. So it's got a multi-attack. It makes 2 attack, 1 with its bite and 1 with its constrict. The bite attack is a +10 to hit with a 10-foot reach.
What is the minimum damage you can do on one attack?
The minimum damage is 3d10 plus 6. So that's a 6, 7, 8, 9 is the minimum damage.
I'm foobarred.
So, I mean, what's your HP?
My health is 24, and that's max.
Okay, so 3 attacks if I roll the minimum amount of damage. The constrict is it's a +10 to hit, 5-foot reach. It has to be a large or smaller creature. 2d10 plus 6 bludgeoning damage, plus 2d10 plus 6 slashing damage, and the target is grappled. And if the Behir isn't already constricting a creature and the creature is restrained till the grapple ends. That's...
I'm not going to last long, so...
And that's if it gets you, because otherwise it also has the Lightning Breath, which is a recharge ability, which is something we haven't seen that often yet. It recharges on a d6, on a 5 or a 6, which is pretty beastie. The Behir exhales a line of lightning that is 20 feet long and 5 foot wide. Each creature in that line must make a dex save, taking 12d10 lightning damage.
Right, well, I know how I'm going to die at least.
We're not done.
Oh no, you're not. Go on then, go on.
Swallow. The Behir makes 1 bite attack against a medium or small target it is grappling, which is part of its multi-attack. If the attack hits, the target is also swallowed, and the grapple ends. While swallowed, the target is blinded and restrained and has total cover against attacks. However, you can be spit up, basically, but you take 21 damage or 66 acid damage at the start of each of the Behir's turns as you digest slowly in its stomach. But yeah, if it takes 30 damage, you are chucked back up.
That is a vomit-worthy experience.
So, 50-foot speed isn't that fast. I have a character that has a 200-foot speed. Yeah. One character...
back in your seat.
Yeah, Tabaxi Rogue, who's, like, able to run like that is fantastic. But this poor Turtle Artificer, who's got a base speed of 30... It doesn't even need to catch up to you. It has a 10-foot reach... with its
the lightning is going to bloody just crucify me.
And the lightning is going to crucify you. So, I have an idea of how I'm going to paint this. I think that, with... Sorry, what was your character's name again?
Francesca.
It doesn't matter, buddy. Let's roll initiative, buddy.
Okie dokie. Straight off the bat, initiative.
I'm going to start the timer. That's an hour on the clock.
Right, we are a hearty 10.
I got a 14. So, let's set the scene and let's give a bit about where Behirs are from. So I'm going to start a paint job. I'm going to use acrylic paints from a craft store. These are like £1 a bottle, but it's like, well, £1 to £3, depending on if they're on sale or not. And I got these from Hobbycraft here in the UK, and I used them for inking dice. But because there's like a metallic-y kind of looking serpent skin on this Behir in the monster manual, I'm going to use these to start layering up and doing bits and pieces with them. But you have been told as an artificer that there is a crystalline substance in a cavern that can help build a machine that you have been working on with maybe like some partners or with some people that...
Designing the ultimate homunculus.
Exactly. And you're like confident, you're like, you've got your armored shell and you're like, I can... Yeah, maybe you like rolled low earlier in the session and you're unsure as to what the creature was, and you're confident in your player abilities has led you to this cavern. And the climb is arduous. You didn't expect just getting here to be as hard as it seems to be, and the tunnels are getting tight and your turtle shell is catching on areas and making a lot of noise. Maybe make a stealth check for me. I'm not going to put you at disadvantage because it's not going to matter anyway in a bit.
I'm already at disadvantage. I'm in scale mail.
Awesome.
So that is a solid 6.
Perfect. As your shell...
Chink, 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 chink.
Exactly that. Catches on rock and you have to squeeze through gaps that you don't normally fit through and force yourself through using strength that you don't normally have. And you end up in this almost... winding tunnel that every now and again seems to have almost like a bulbous dugout at the roof of it, and each one of them has like these tiny little circles or like spirals in them that look like something has like grabbed on and twisted, but you're unsure of what that is. Maybe this is the creature and you're tracking it, you don't know, but you press on forwards and eventually these areas start to widen and you happen across a wider area where the tunnel that you're traveling through splits off, and there are about 4 other entrances, and you were in a room. It's the largest cavern you've seen here. It's probably about 50 foot by 50 foot, and yeah, you stand there in the dark. I mean, do you have dark vision as a turtle?
No. Probably got a massive torch.
Nice. Just, I am here. Yeah. And you
just to do the job properly.
Nice. You hold your torch out high and you look around the space.
Actually, I don't have a torch. I've enchanted a rock with my artificer ability to make it produce light. I think it's 10 foot bright light, 10 foot dim light.
Nice. You stand there, rock in hand, like a torch or a lantern, and survey the cavern. You see crystals. You see this, like, charged blue gemstones that seem to crackle with lightning, and you think that you found what you're looking for.
I am diving in to get my shit and get out.
Okay. You start making your way across to the opposite side of the cavern where there is some of these crystals, and just what's your passive perception?
Shit. It's 10.
10. Okay, cool. I will give you a perception roll because I think you would be looking out for a creature. And I'm going to talk about the skills that the Behir has. So its perception is +6 and its stealth is +7. I'm going to roll a stealth check right now.
Ooh, I got a 19 perception.
I just rolled a nat 1 on the stealth.
It falls off the ceiling.
So we'll talk about that in a second. It's already seen you. It knows you're coming. It does have immunities. It has immunity to lightning. Not a problem telling you that, because I think you should know that by now anyway, knowing that this thing is coming for you. It has dark vision of 90 foot and a passive perception of 16. It does speak a language which is Draconic. But you step forwards and something catches your attention, some movement or something above you where one of these crystalline shapes, a shadow, seems to move behind it. And then you just hear and rock across the floor, and then this massive as a huge snake-like creature with legs jutting out of it falls and lands on the ground. I'm going to give it some damage because it fell. A nat 1 off the ceiling. It grabbed the wrong crystal and it was too heavy and it broke. However, what have I done with my dice? My dice. I make dice, people, and I don't.
Say, you are the dice man, and you can't find dice. That's a bit concerning.
Yeah, it's fine. They're over here. They're actually close by. They're
just hiding from you.
Yeah, that's right. So what? D6 per 10. Let's give it 4d6 because that's about a 40-foot fall. Oh, it's good. That's a 6, a 5, a 4, and a 4. So that's 8, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 points of bludgeoning damage. This thing, boosh, onto the floor and then tries to start wriggling itself around. However, this is where we're going to enter combat mode. And it makes this horrible roar. And you can smell the electricity in the air starting to build up, and you see its eyes glowing blue and yellow, and you just start to hear this, and all those crystals around the edge of the room start to charge as well. And it is going to try and it almost doesn't use its legs, and it slithers up to you, and it's going to make its first attack, which is going to be a constrict. So here we go. Oh, it's not great. That is a 17 to hit.
Hits. That's literally my armor class.
So you were going to take. I mean, I could roll bad here. Or it's going to be, the end of this, and we'll focus on the painting. Because they are cavern predators. If you'd have rolled a Dragonborn as well, I'd have just bitten your head off.
Yeah, as I say, I can imagine that.
So the first one is 2d10 plus 6 bludgeoning. Man. That is 18 points of bludgeoning.
Alright, okay.
You are then going to take 2d10 plus 6 slashing damage. Oh, that's 4.
Okay.
4, 5, 6.
Dead.
7, 8, 9, 10. 10 points
Dead.
of yeah, so you down, yeah?
Dead.
It is going to bite you. It has advantage on the attack. Let's roll that with advantage.
Very dead.
That's 21 to hit.
Really dead.
So that's 2 automatic death saving throws. Let's roll the damage. In fact, it doesn't matter about the damage. You are swallowed.
Horrifically dead.
Could you make me a death saving throw at the top of your turn, please?
You're a bastard. You really are. Make a death saving throw.
It's the rules. You've literally got one left, and it's your go.
Damn, I'm rolling a 6.
Cool. So, any last thoughts or words from this naive turtle who has died?
To be honest, I don't even think my poor little Francesca had time for a construct of a thought. Just turns around and run.
Snack good. And I'm going to say that we can drop out of initiative there. You've got 51 minutes left to paint your mini.
Jesus Christ, that has got to be the quickest combat.
It was just you didn't get to go first, so you didn't even really get a swing there. To be honest, it was just that's the dice.
I didn't even expect to get a swing, let alone any sort of go.
So if you're a DM and you're going to throw a Behir at a level 3 party, if I can take down one player in that time, don't fucking do it.
You shouldn't be a DM, it's mean.
Yeah, don't fucking do it. I think that it has to be the quickest combat I've ever done. How's it going with the mini?
Yeah.
So have
Playing around with some contrasties.
Nice. Have you ever used a Behir in D&D then?
I haven't, but literally, whilst we've been playing this and chatting, I am planning on one now because my party are currently in Icy Mountains.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think I might add a little bit of a Super Saiyan one.
Oh, nice. So I will say, for those of you out there, Behirs detest dragons. And a lot of the time when we see a a dragon, especially in icy areas, if you're going to find a white dragon, it's a very common, like, let's put a big bad monster in a snowy tundra area, and that's a good one to go for. I really like frost salamanders, which are very close to what a Behir is, but more icy. And I really like Behirs because it's like having a dragon, but a different kind of skin on it. But what's really cool is you can like have like a dragon's lair that's empty, because a Behir and a dragon, if they end up near each other, the Behir will seek out the dragon to kill it. If it can't, it will flee and find somewhere very, very far away to roost. However, if it can kill it, it will. It actively hunts down dragons.
I'm going to be a bit mean because one of my players, is obsessed with dragons. She loves them. Or his female character loves them, and I've just started basically bringing the dragons have awoken basically in the land, so you're starting to see them a bit more. There's starting to be a bit of a a happening with them, seeing across the land and stuff like that. So I'm going to put a dragon in that they see banking over the edge of it, the edge of the rise they're just coming up to, and all of a sudden they're going to hear a lightning bolt strike. And they're going to have, a little bit of a death match that's seen.
So, I mean, that's another good thing, because it can be something where, like, players could think it's a sentient creature and be like, oh shit, we should go help this if it's fighting a dragon, and then realise maybe we should have helped the dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
The dragon may have had some conscious thoughts where this thing, although it can speak Draconic, it's just...
a bastard.
It's a monster. It is completely predatorial, and it is a predatorial beast, and the closest that you'll get in a dragon that's predatorial is obviously a white dragon. Otherwise, anything else is going to be, like, really, really quite smart, and it's definitely something that... the only time I've thrown one at a party was during a one-shot, and I didn't think that they would actually go and fight it. And... Didn't think they'd take the bait, and they ran straight headlong into it, did they? I put it there as a warning, as a don't fucking try it. And hey, Absalom Dak, how you doing? Believe it or not, the combat's already over. It took one turn because any DM who throws a Behir at a party of level 3 is a monster. But
let alone a single level 3.
And so I basically had like this like Halloween one-shot thing going on, and I was like, this like carnival of like monsters is going around, run by like a necrotic clown who was actually a demon, just reskinned. And I put it in this cage, and they found the deck of many things, which was with a hag that was with them. And one of the cards pulled by the bard was the next monster you face. If you defeat it, you gain enough XP to level up. Yeah, exactly. Which is a fantastic card. Doesn't really matter in a one-shot, though. But the player was like, fuck yeah, let's go do it.
I'm doing it, yeah.
Went to the fucking menagerie, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, I've already written this. This is what's here. And it was sort of like meant to be like a look at how powerful the beasts they've captured are.
Yeah. Don't fucking go near them.
But, expect something bad at the end. But what actually happened was she pickpocketed the clown and then got the key, opened the lock, and I was like, I mean, it's a Behir. It's not going to think to do it. And I was like, can you make me a dex saving throw, please? And they were like level 4, and it was horrible. Because I was like, the other DMs around the table were like, I mean, yeah. You've described it, you've said it. It's like you've given all the warning signs, and it was just like, bang, 72 damage, insta-death. And it was just like nuts. Hey, Dragon School Studios, welcome to the show. Believe it or not, Richard is already dead. It took 9 minutes, and most of that was me describing the dungeon. And then in one turn, we constricted him and swallowed him because the Behir is a fucking monster. And you shouldn't throw it as a DM against a single level 3 character. But what we're going to do is focus on the painting. So how is your painting going, Richard?
It's looking a mess at the moment.
I, believe it or not, could say that I'm tabletop ready. I'm not going to, because it's got one paint on it. I've used a diner, which is like a blue noir, to basically just dry brush over black. And I'm getting the bases for those like darker areas. And I'm going to take some lighter blue, and I'm going to dry brush over some highlighted areas, and then I'll go in and do the teeth and the eyes and the horns, because the horns are nice and bone-like. But I mean, for saying this is a craft store acrylic over a black primer, I really like that colour. It's got that kind of like, yeah, lightning undertones to it. And you're using contrasts, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm trying to see what I can, having a little play with mixing up contrasts and seeing what I can do with them, and having a bit of fun.
Nice. And how's everybody out there as well? Because I mean, obviously, like usually the combats last a lot longer during this, but there you go. It's a big monster and a small character. It's just it was never going to be justice. Have any of you out there faced a Behir or used a Behir in Dungeons and Dragons before? Let us know. But actually, what we could talk about as well is things that are upcoming, Richard.
Upcoming indeed.
Because next week, I'm going to check my calendar. I fucked up last week, didn't I?
Only a little bit. But it's all right.
Should be fine to stream next Thursday. But we're moving on to the Beholders.
Ooh, this is going to be fun.
Richard, you can have a level 5 character for a Beholder.
Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Okay.
Because I think that could be quite fun. Not only that, is I think Beholders are a classic monster, and they are fantastic, and we'll talk about them next week, and why they're so good, and why they're so deadly, but also why they're fantastic NPCs.
Oh, yes, indeedy.
And why one of them is an antagonist within a module book like Waterdeep Dragon Heist with the Xanathar, and who is one of my favourite NPCs out there. But we're going to do something else as well, aren't we, Richard?
I think we were planning on such.
Do you want to tell other people out there on Twitch and YouTube?
Do you think they deserve it?
You got to answer as audience. Do you deserve it? Do you want to know?
So that's the thing. Do people want to know?
Oh, Herbalist, we do. Fluffy, hell yeah! Fluffy's now got an American Texas accent. My name's Fluffy Catfloof. Dragon Skull, well, of course.
Good.
I think Absalom, nah. I fucking love you, Absalom. Why don't you tell him, Richard?
Okay, so next week with the Beholder, it is one of my favourite beasties. I have used a couple of them, live and dead. But in honour of such a prestigious event and a prestigious creature, I'm going to be giving away the Beholder that is a model of the Beholder that I paint, basically. However, it is going to be a community vote as to what Beholder it is. I will post them up later. I have one modelled here. This is the 75mm version of it. I'll send the pictures over to Ian as well, so that we can post it up on both fronts. But going to get a vote over the next couple of days. Find out which one we want to go for. And as I said, whichever one is chosen will be then given away. Not on the day of the stream. I think we are... What are we doing with it, Ian?
So, I'll take over. On the day of the stream, we will paint the Beholder, have an encounter with a level 5 character, and we'll have a bit of fun. I'm really looking forward to this one, and I've been looking forward to this one for a while. I'm going to throw in a dice, and I'll get that sent to Richard, who can then, whoever wins, take it on. To enter, all you'll have to do is, you don't have to watch live, but on YouTube, if you go to our YouTube video, when it comes out and we release it, which should be within the first 24 hours of having done the show next week, just comment on the video. Just say what you liked about it. Say hello. We're going to start hitting those algorithm buttons. We're really going to start trying to push for getting more kind of views and stuff like that. So it's just going to be a case of comment, like the video, and give it a share for us if you can. That'd be fantastic. And then from those comments, we'll probably set a date, which we haven't spoken about yet, but it'll probably be a couple of weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks. And then after that time, we will pick the winner. And we'll do it as a random generator.
And we're not saying there's more chance to win, but if you happen to share it on Instagram and post it around, you never know what could happen.
And I think that that's something that we can definitely look at. And we'll work out how the hell we do that to make sure that we can put people in for double votes if they share it and tag us in it and stuff like that. Because we really want to start hitting those algorithms. And let's face it, the Instagram algorithm has changed recently and it is kicking my ass.
Yep. Dried up to the nines.
Yes, which is rather unfortunate. But, so we're going to be giving away a beholder and a themed dice. And Richard has seen L-themed dice.
I loved it. The beholder I will be giving away will be a 32mm and a 75mm version.
Whoa!
So you will get one around that size, and you'll get one for your tabletop.
Ah, lovely. That's awesome. And so that's what we're going to be doing. So we thought we'd let you guys know here in chat, because you guys are here every week, and we really appreciate that. And I know before and after the show, but Dibs is missing today, so I might message him in a bit, make sure he's all right.
I swear you said hello to him at the start of the channel.
That was somebody else. That was Diggs, BTW.
Oh, Diggs. Oh.
Yeah, so I will check in with Dibs later, make sure that he's okay. It's rare that he misses a show, but then he could have things going on in his life. Maybe I'm intruding, who knows? But he checks in with me, which is nice. I like our community. I love it to bits. But that will be the giveaway, and we'll let you guys know here first. But yeah, it's going to be a YouTube comments thing, basically, where you comment on the video so that we can start hitting more algorithm plugs, and then we'll do a random generator from there. A dice and a mini. I think that's a pretty good one for the beholder. We're going to have some fun with the session next week. I've already... I don't know what character you've got, but I already know what in mind I'm going to do.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been thinking about this one for a while.
I might have a think about character and stuff, and possibly throw in a couple of surprises at you. See how you do.
You know what? I'm okay with that. I'm giving you a level 5 character. If you want to spend the week creating one, that's absolutely fine. Because I think that we can have a lot of fun with the beholder. It might not even be a fight like one of the angels. Who knows? And I like the idea that, not knowing, but knowing there's going to be an encounter with the beholder, see what you build.
Will be quite fun, actually, I think.
So
Level 5. Level
5's good. As for painting, let's go back to the Behir. So I've taken the next Diner paint, which is the Blue Vert, or Iridescent Blue Green, which is this one here. Another Hobbycraft special, which I use for inking dice. And so this is the dual tone of the two blues that I'm getting, which is exactly what I was after. So black primer, dark blue noir, and then that blue-green highlight. The underside of a Behir is lighter blues, technically. So I'm going to go under there with a different one that I might lighten up with some of this, which is an acrylic ink, which is a Dale Rowney one. I'm probably going to go in with some of that and pick out some of the highlighted areas just to brighten that bit up. And then I might go back in with something like this, very dark blue, and paint in some darker lines around those back scales. How are you getting on with your Behir?
My Behir, just letting the contrast dry a bit and start at the base, and I'm going to do a bit of dry brushing and see what lovely little effects we can bring out. I'm just trying to find what particular dry brushes, colours to have a bit of fun with.
Nice. What I also might do is, once I get this layer of blue on the underside, which is the same as the top, I will dry brush in white and then go over it again with the same blue, just to see if I can brighten that up and make it a little bit lighter beforehand. Give us those contrastal differences. Oop. I got to remember not to whistle. Can you? I forget as well, because obviously I've got music playing and I can hear it, and hopefully the audience can hear it. Are you able to hear it yet, Richard?
I can only hear the music when you talk.
It's so weird.
So when you talk, obviously the mic channel opens up more.
It's odd because it's running through OBS and it's not one that's now playing live in the room. So it should come straight through, which is very, very interesting. But I guess that's that. So I have the blue covered on that one there. So in terms of Behir's, people out there, I didn't see the comments sections or not because I was too busy focused on this bit and talking about the upcoming Beholder event. So have you guys seen Behir's? Have you faced them around? Have you thought about using them in your campaigns, or is it one of those monsters that you've only seen in like Storm King's Thunder or in module books? So I'm also going to take some of our Bear Brown. Again, if anybody was watching the unboxing last night, you'll know this is one of my favourite browns. Absalom, don't think I've ever used one. Yeah, they're absolutely brutal, but they're fantastic for either like setting up a scene or against dragons, or having a dragon run away and characters thinking they're safe, and then all of a sudden it turns out there's a reason the dragon ran. They're fantastic for ancient lore, and I really like them for areas with giants, because that's who created them. The first storm giants created the Behir. And I just really like that kind of... This was a weapon created to fight dragons.
Fight the mean lizards.
Fight the mean lizards.
Mean lizards that breathe the fire at me.
I only recently learned as well, like down here in Cornwall, I think it was like something like the first king of Cornwall moved down here because they were like bored of where they were, and they heard it was a land of giants. And there was apparently a giant called Garmagog who ruled down here, and he came to like Land's End where this giant's cave was, and he fought him and he won, and then the first, I think it was Cormoran was his name, became the first king of Cornwall and named it after himself. And I was like, that's a fucking D&D story right there.
Fuck, yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So, hello. What have we got going on here? Hello. Hi, Dragonborn Industries. Oops. Hi, Dragon School Studios. There we go. I was like, pretty sure I've already said hello to you, Herbalist.
I've got an upcoming painting thing with Herbalist as well. The old band of badgers.
Ah, so that's something we haven't spoken about yet today, because I also have an upcoming thing with you.
Oh, yes, I was going to say, yeah, you do as well.
Is that the same one, or is it two different streams?
It's the same, well, the Great British Paint-Off thing, but it's obviously different dates with you both.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know if it was like the same night or not. But yes, Herbalist is going to be on Band of Badgers as the next new guest painter, which is awesome because the community grows, and hopefully that means that she'll be in the chat soon and stuff like that. And yeah, welcome to the club, because it's a really fun thing to do. And obviously, like, Richard, I know what mini I'm going to paint, so you don't actually need to send me anything for that one there, because I know that we're doing a Warrior Prince one.
I was going to say, it is a Warrior Prince one, so have you got one of mine, or...?
Yeah, you know that Solar that we never finished? And we've always said,
okay,
I'm going to finish that up together.
Okay, then I will do my Solar then on that session as well.
Yeah,
I'll save Solar for that.
I desperately want to finish it, and I'm like, you know what? That is the perfect excuse. Do you know the date of that one that we can tell people?
I can't remember what Dave said, actually. I thought... Give me a second, let me check my messages.
So what
I want
you
to
do
say
that?
it... Say again?
Oh, no, so I was going to just talk over you while you looked for a date, but if you were talking, I will shut the fuck up.
No, you're alright. Keep talking.
I am just adding an oak brown now to all of those claws, like these bony protrusions at the start, at the end of each foot, basically, on those 8 legs. And the only places that I need to add brown are the horns and those claws. The rest of it is all a nice, camouflaged snake lizard. Dragon School Studios, welcome aboard. Yeah, hopefully... Dragon School, I'm not sure what's happening with the brush-offs, because I only got a message, I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before, telling me about Richard's one. And...
Yeah, because the brush-offs that were meant to happen haven't quite
come together,
materialised.
yeah.
And
I don't want to say too much, because I don't know what I'm allowed to or not allowed to say and who they were and what we were doing, but now it's like... I mean, there was talk about what we were supposed to be doing last year.
Yeah.
And now we're in September.
I've basically just waited for Dave to let me know what's going on, so I didn't want to cement any.
But now we have the Dragon School Studios, the Warrior Prince one. There's 2 episodes of that I know coming out. There is another Frameworks one, maybe? Is that what I saw on Dave's post the other day? But usually the brush off is done. Each series is based around the company's minis. Oh, awesome. Dragon School is painting on a Saturday this month with Band of Badgers. Let me know the date so I can be there, Craig, because you're always here supporting us, and I want to do everything I can to support you. And Yeah, we'll definitely be there for that.
Yeah, I say likewise. Let me know.
I will make sure it goes in the calendar, and even if I have to just be in lurk mode, I absolutely will. Same with you, Herbalist. Let me know which ones you're on, and then I will be there to lurk.
Herbalist is on the 16th with me.
So I'm on the 23rd then.
I need to confirm that because there was one of the dates I said to Dave I couldn't do.
21st.
I need to find out what he's doing.
Oh, 28th. Oh,
yeah,
God.
I think it's we're the 28th.
That makes sense. I was like looking at like the campaign nights, like, oh God! Come on, I need a little bit more brown. I don't want to crack open the new one just yet. There we go. I will say, shout out to the Army Painter for one sending me out the character role-playing starter set. That happened because I actually messaged them about sponsoring this show, and they said we weren't quite there on the metrics, but here's a little something that as your channel grows, you know, you can do. This brown is the main reason I like that set. It is my favourite brown for base coating so many things. But hopefully moving forwards, if we can get like more views, more shows, more sharing, then hopefully we'll get some sponsorship from the Army Painter in time. But they didn't tell us what the metrics were and for what we need. So we're just going to try and work towards it. It's one of the reasons I want to do the giveaway, especially on YouTube, so that we can really push those numbers and try and get out there some more, really, to be honest.
Well, definitely, most definitely.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to getting back onto the brush upper, and I would really like to get back to the classic series. I think I'd like to run something here as well at some point where we get together as a big kind of group and just chill out, hang out, paint, talk shit.
That'd be good.
Yeah, because I haven't talked enough Ahsoka to people yet.
Oh, I need to. I've done the first couple of episodes. I've got to get on the next lot that have been released.
Yeah, I've caught up. I'm up to date. Oh, cool. So Herbalist will come hang out. Dragon Skull will come hang out. Anybody else want to come hang out and paint minis? And we'll do something. We'll do like a big old call where there's loads of us on it and it gets just chaos. It'd be quite fun, like a big mini painting.
We shall name it. We shall name it. Test the bandwidth.
That's actually pretty good. I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. Maybe we do a Halloween one when we get dressed up.
Oh, I'm ugly enough as it is. It's fine. Get the shit out of people.
Yeah, that could be quite.
Although there was a Halloween dress up I never ever got to do that I always wanted to do with my little lad, which was Wreck-It Ralph and Fix It Felix.
Oh, that'd be so good. Oh, that'd be very, very good. You'd be Felix, right?
Yeah, cool. Obviously.
Okay, so I've added some of that oak brown, and that's just to the claws and to the horns, just to give it that little different colour, and because that's what it looks like in the monster manual. And again, in a second, I'm going to go onto the underside. I'm going to add that white, and then I'm going to go back over with the same blue. Richard, you've got 26 minutes. How do you think you're going to do?
I think I will be shoddy tabletop ready.
This could be all right for me, you know.
You what?
I think mine could be all right, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get a nice build up of the body. I think basically claws and teeth I might have to finish off at a later time.
Shit, teeth. I forgot about
that. Claws, teeth, and mouth, I should say. I might try and slap a bit of red in the mouth, but
yeah, no, you were quite right.
It goes. But I forgot how much I love dry brushing.
Yeah, and we were speaking about this last night. Actually, there was I think it was Ello who was they just painted their first mini as we were going live, and we were talking about dry brushing and stuff, and how it's one of those techniques that like actually when you first try and doing it, it's like, why does everybody else's look so good and mine doesn't? And it's not one of those things that like you think's going to be bad until you've practiced it, and then it gets. But it's the easiest technique to pick up, is what I'm trying to say, and then get.
That's a conversation I have with myself every day when it comes to painting.
Yeah, but it's yeah, dry brushing is pretty much how
we got Kelly and all that on there.
Yeah, that's Kelly's getting insane at painting. Like, I don't know that he like not necessarily batch paints, but does all like batch of colours and stuff. But it's like crazy how quick they're all.
I tried that though with these bloody gobos I've been painting, and I still didn't win.
I very much prefer painting one mini at a time, but sometimes when you've got like an army of the same things, it's just not feasible.
No.
So I am going to go in, now that you've reminded me about the teeth, and go in and paint them brown, and then I'll do some skeleton bone or something on those. Got the inside of the mouth going red, and I will probably use a wash or a contrast in there. But what I really like is they've got this like serpentine head on this mini, and it looks very snake-like. I like that. So I feel bad about badges as well. The other night they had a dice maker on, and Rune Fable is a really good dice maker, but I missed the stream, and we'll catch up with that later.
Oh, definitely. The problem is there's so many streams to keep track of. It ends up being a bloody nightmare.
It is hard because I try and get to anybody in the communities, especially like the community here, so like Herbalist, and I'm yet to try and get. I'm yet to like time Absalom's ones right yet, and I really want to get to some of your streams, bud. And
well, that's it. It's like your streams, Herbalist. Trying to juggle everything and get onto the streams and make sure that my darling ADHD brain remembers to do them and stuff is a wonderful thing.
Well, mine's also I like to give my wife the time.
Well, that's it. That's it. Because usually in the evening, sitting down and bloody passing out, old man napping and stuff.
It's nice when I'm at home with the wife because like our evenings tend to be sticking on crit roll, high rollers, somebody else's. Like we just started the Mist Lounge, season 2, because they were next on the list to listen to, and I like to listen to other people's podcasts and shows and stuff. So it's nice when like my friend Jack streams his games, or when Herbalist comes on, or when Dragon School sticks on his cameras, and it's nice to like go in and see other people's stuff. So it's just timing, though, isn't it? Like if
yeah, well, that's it. It's always the big thing.
So I'm just grateful when people show up, and there's never any pressure from my end, and I'm just very, very grateful for our community. That's
well, we've got a damn good group of people around us.
I couldn't agree more, actually. That's very, very true.
It's one of the things I've got to say I'm most thankful for is having that community and those people around, even in the background and bits and pieces. But it's such a decent, much better sort of batch of humans to be around.
Yeah, and I mean, like Herbalist is the best lurker out there. It's amazing. Like she's always there. Like even if she's like, oh, I'm gonna go grab some food and stuff, I'm like, yeah, cool. Just thank you for the views and stuff like that. And like even last night, I tried to jump in on Herbalist's stream while I was watching Ahsoka, and then my phone was like, battery. I was like, oh yeah, I need to charge that fucker. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for always kind of like being there for us and coming along. It's greatly, greatly appreciated, and yeah, it means a lot.
We love you for it.
We do. Hey, Lord of Cats, how you doing?
Hey.
How are you doing? Did you see the Band of Badgers unboxing of the Turbo Dog silicon palette? No, but I have seen the silicon palettes. But you can actually use, there's like fidget poppers that are silicon that just have like the little, press them through to the other side bits. It's like bubble wrap, but for people like you and I who can't sit still. And yeah, it's really cool because there you go, right there. It's it's like using the silicon is really, really good. It's like a dry palette, but obviously because it's silicon, it doesn't allow things to dry to it, and it's really, really cool. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well out there. Dragon School says, Rich, I totally agree. I wouldn't be where I am without all of you. Yeah, it's I love the community that I love the guys that I found through Band of Badgers, and I really love the guys that have come along to the shows here. And yeah, it's just feeling very grateful at the moment, especially as we're getting back into the streaming schedule. And we were saying before the show, it's like it was weird taking a week off when I had family down. I loved having family down, but this is like my happy place.
Yeah, didn't want to human too much.
Yeah, humaning's hard. So it's nice to be back. Right, so I've just put some darker lines against those bases of those scales just so they stand up. And then I'm going to go in with a dry brush underneath of the white. And I'm probably going to put some white in on the eyes as well. What are you painting up at the moment, Herbalist? Humaning, I want to be a cat. Humaning does suck. Right. Ooh, which brush are we going to use? that dry enough yet? It's quite warm in here. Yeah. So I'm using a, this is a makeup brush, and it's a double-ended makeup brush. And
Super Drug Finest.
not even that. This is a Poundland special. It comes in a pack.
Hey.
It comes in a pack of 3. We've got like a wider end here, but it's rounded off, which is lovely. But this thinner side is really good for being precise. Oh, cool. You're finishing your sisters at the moment. And Dragon School, you're back on the orcs at the moment.
Oh, I need to print the Orc Ghostbusters this week.
Orc Ghostbusters.
Yeah, so I've got the Orc DeLorean, I've got Bat Orc, and the Orc Busters have just come out. So I'm hoping that they do the Ecto one with it as well.
That's amazing.
And it is epic. It is epic.
Herbert says she's ordering Garrosh tomorrow. Dragons or Goblins.
Ooh, I'm very much looking forward to printing him, and I may have to print my 1/6 one of my own. But I also have Gromash to paint as well.
Right.
Do love my orcs.
So yeah, Dragon Skull is on Goblins. Even better. I love me some Gobbos.
Oh, so I've got mine finished finally. I don't know if you saw them in the Badgers chat.
I did. I did indeed. I was really slow on replying to people like all of like the back end of last week and the past couple of days. So I was just like, "There's so much going on!" Ah! No, I was like,
200 messages. Delete.
no. I do go through them all if I've missed anything because it's yeah, again, just trying to support the community. You know, it's our little group that is in that chat. It's just like
trying to get it all done and
yeah. So, Orky Wargs from Lord of Cats. Dragon's got avatars of War Nasty Goblin Gifts. Right back to work. Have an awesome stream. You lovely lot. Lord of Cats, thank you so much for coming along. You missed the whole 6 seconds it took to kill Richard. And yeah, hopefully we'll be back next week. Lord of Cats, there is going to be a giveaway announcement on next week's show. Check out the socials as well for us all, because mini and dice giveaway coming up for the Beholder. Just so you aware. Everybody else, if you haven't already heard that, Richard's giving away £1 million. And I've said it on the internet now, which means it must be true. And how do you feel about that, Richard?
I'd feel good if it was a fact that I could. I'd feel very good, but you know, I couldn't lay my hands on £1 million, let alone £1 million.
Yeah, no, tell me about it. Because adulting sucks. But yeah, we're going to be doing a dice. And hey, Lord of Cats, thank you. I need to follow you, so I shall have a looky. Yeah, awesome. And I will happily return the favour. Yeah, so there's going to be a mini, which Richard said is going to be a 32 and a 75.
Yep, so there's going to be a 32mm scale for your tabletop and a 75 for your shelf top.
And also, you're going to be deciding which mini it is. And is this the mini that you're also going to be painting on the stream?
Yes, indeed.
So, I believe Richard's going to do a poll on your Instagram.
Yeah, I'll try and figure out how to do it. If not, I will basically put up all the separate pictures and get people to comment which one.
Awesome. And yeah, so check out Richard's Instagram. Hopefully, £1 million of scrap resin supports. Yeah, fair enough.
That I can help you within a week.
Check out Richard's socials, which hopefully Nightbot is going to be cycling round. If there's any mods in, so Dragon Skull or Fluffy, if you see that and can pin it, feel free to pin it. I'd be very grateful, but you know, no pressure. Yeah, and I'll share that across my socials as well. But yeah, it'll be all voted for on Richard's. I'm not gonna show you the dice until the episode, so that it can be seen on. Well, one, I can finish it. Two, it can be seen on the YouTube video properly, and that'll be where I reveal that one. And yeah, all in all, it'll be a case of go to the YouTube video, give it a like, give it a comment, and yeah, we'll try and kick the algorithm's arse rather than the algorithm kicking our arse.
Yes, indeed. It would certainly be nice to have some sort of a changed luck on that front.
So I will point out, on the Behir from WizKids, the eyes are really quite pronounced. And hey, thank you, Dragon Skull, for pinning that one for me. That's amazing. That it's really easy to actually get in there. And I'm using quite a big brush here to paint the eyes white before I go in there with a contrast and paint over them in blue. But what I might do is also do like a line of lightning coming off it.
Oh, that's a bit pretty.
Just to give it some character, you know. Kind of
a little
like
bit
this.
of this, a bit of that.
Don't know if that will focus in. Hopefully, well, there you go. So I'm going to do like a line going through it on that eye. But I mean, that's the underside where I've gone through the blues and then I've added the whites to give it a lighter underside. And that's just dry brushing. We're using no washers, and the top is that metallic blue-green. But I also need to get in and do those teeth as well. You've got 14 minutes. Do you think you'll be shabby tabletop ready, or...?
I'll be shabby tabletop ready. I've just started on the mouth. I've mostly dry brush and contrast.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too bad. Try and pick out some of the details just to give it a little bit of extra life, I say.
So I'm about to go in with some Army Painter Skeleton Bone. Oh, Dragon Skull. I finally picked up some Skeleton Horde contrast paint the other day. I need to paint some Resident Evil zombies like you wouldn't believe, and I am utterly shit at undead creatures. To which end, you guys are fantastic at it, both Richard and Craig. So, I mean, if you guys want to set up a stream and have me learn how the fuck to use Skeletal Horde, I would be really grateful.
Be a good giggle.
Because send help.
Zombies are always a bane when it comes to the dead flesh.
Yeah, it's one of the things I really struggle with is doing undead. Skeletons are fine because it's like
it's skeletons, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sort of...
Until I see somebody else's and I'm like, oh, theirs is better.
Yeah.
But like zombies and necrotic flesh, I just fucking struggle with.
I had to paint a Hel statue, the goddess Hel, and my friend wanted it so that it's the traditional half of her body is decaying flesh.
Nice.
And trying to get that, I was looking at pictures, not so it's like flesh slopping off, but it's just dead and green, dying, purple bits and pieces in it, and yeah, it was one of the most challenging things I've ever sort of painted.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think because I struggled with it to begin with when I first got like a Mantic terrain crate and it had a load of zombies in it, and I put off doing them. Then I thought I found a good way of doing it like skeletons, where I start in brown primer, then work the way up to skeleton bone and white. But actually, it didn't work for the necrotic flesh, and it was just like really just shit. And it just looked a mess, and I was using washers a lot at the time, and for me it just didn't work out. And since then I've just put off doing any undead.
I say it's always when you have that sort of kicker, it's one of the reasons I tend to stay away from them as well, because I shit myself when I have to paint them.
Yeah, but I looking at like whenever I see Craig's, I'm like, God damn it, how are you doing this?
What are you doing?
So I'm very jealous, and I'm very happy for him to show me what the hell I'm doing wrong.
That'd be good fun.
Right, let's grab some of this. So, I'm going to grab some Frost Heart, which is a contrast, because it's a little bit thinner. I'm going to put that into L palette, and I'm still going to thin it down again because I really want the white to show through on those eyes. What's really nice is I've actually left a bit of Mylar glitter in there, so that might get some glitter in the eyes as well.
It's a little bit glittery.
Do that.
I'll take umbrage to glitter and dice.
Okay, so I need that to dry.
What have we got on the timer?
You've got 10 minutes. Dragonstone says he honestly fumbled through it. Well, whatever you're fumbling with, it damn well works.
Do you know what? I find that with a lot of the stuff though, 9 times out of 10, I literally just slap it on, do a bit of tick, or I hope it sticks right.
Yeah, and I agree. I definitely paint like that as well. I think when I've got a reference, anything that I did that was Star Wars, I was like, cool, I've got a reference, I know what I'm aiming to.
Well, yeah, having that focus point to be able to look and get colours and get ideas and bits and pieces really does help.
Yeah, and then with fantasy models, I found that I was trapped to the browns and the blacks and the darker colours to obviously stick to those natural leathers or to armour and stuff and silvers. But then when I started doing the Starfinder minis and my Tau for Warhammer, it was just holy shit, I can use any colour I want and it does not matter. Yeah. And so I've really, really enjoyed delving into sci-fi because it's bright pink armour, let's fucking go. And it's just so I've enjoyed the freedom there, but I really do have to stumble through and go, I think this will work.
Let's have a look.
Exactly. And I'm sometimes I'm I'm the best fucking painter in the world. I know colour theory. And other times I'm I might burn this mini so that nobody will ever see the evidence.
No one could ever know.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm definitely tabletop ready. I'm waiting for the eyes to dry a little bit, and then I might add a few little highlights in places. But so far, that's what we have.
Tabletop.
Let's move the mic out of the way, or else the camera's going to focus on that. So we have that metallic skin. We've got the light side underneath. We've got a serpentine face. I wonder if it's going to show the eye. We're trying to go for a bright blue. That contrast is still drying in there. Harder to see, but we started with the white and then we put the blue over it so that it should hopefully be somewhat of a glow. We stuck some corn red in the mouth, and then we went over with some brown and some skeleton bone for the claws and horns and teeth, and I'm probably going to stick in a flesh wash from the army painter into the mouth, just to kind of add some depth to that more. I'm then going to go find the clear base, and I'm not using the extra little bit that comes with it, like the rocky area. I'm just going to put it straight onto a clear base. Because it's such a big base, I like that WizKids are now doing them transparent, because you can see terrain or a map underneath it, and I like that a lot. I definitely think if I had more time as well with this mini, which has been actually probably one of my favourites so far from the WizKids line that we've done, you could really, really go in there after this sort of very basic dry brushing and just pick out some top spots, and it would be very easy to make this look very, very good, I think. How's your mini been for painting?
It's really nice. Got to tidy up a couple of bits, but it's got the scales are beautifully done, and you've got such a like a pattern change in them, because you've got harder scales on the back with smaller scales in between, and then you've got the big sort of chest and stomach plates.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks. I love it actually. It's really quite nice.
Yeah, I remember before the stream you showed me, and I was like, oh, that's a good looking mini right there. It's I actually like the picture that you posted the other day as well, with the bits that you could see in it. That was really cool. And
well, I said, and annoyingly, I mean, I was trying to get a post up, and I hadn't cleaned up the model because I had it printed, but I had it cleaned up until this morning. So I wasn't able to get a printed picture with the post the other day. So I wanted to have the render post and obviously the full printed model.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. It's it's a very, very pretty model. So it's a very cool merchant license that you managed to get there.
So yes, very chuffed with that. Nice. Very thankful for how I got it.
Right, I'm gonna put my hands up and say I'm done, because we've got 5 minutes, and I'm sure in about 3 minutes, when the eyes are dry, I'll probably go, I can probably add a little bit more. Yeah, fuck it, I'll add a bit more.
So there's always more to do.
There is, and I think that's one of the things is like, obviously like last week we painted in like, well not last week, the week before we painted in like 20 minutes and then had all that time for the combat, which was great. And this time round, the combat was over real fast and we've had time to paint. And even then, even between chatting and like talking to people in chat, I'm still finding bits. And there's still always a little bit more you can go, and it just shows again that like the premise of the show being we want to try and show you that within an hour you can get a tabletop ready mini. It is definitely feasible even with big ones like this.
But there's also a lot more to do.
Yeah.
if you chose to
do everyone like we're trying to do. I'm going to try and give it some OSL on the eyes. And what I'm going to do that is I'm just going to thin down some of this acrylic paint, and I am going to...
You saying about skeleton horde though? Where's my skeleton horde? That'll work out nicely for the bloody...
horns.
Horns, yeah. There we go. I'm not going to have a chance to do claws, so it's just horny bits it is.
He said horny.
No.
I'm a child. Or at least I'm
massive man children.
I'm also going to stick some on there and just see what happens. On the hornies. Yeah, let's go with that. So... I wonder.
Wondering?
I'm wondering if I should stick a dot of yellow in the middle of that blue eye.
Do a dot of white.
Yeah, I probably should. Okay.
Especially if you've gone for like an OSL effect, you wouldn't want to have a weird colour in there, would you?
Right, Mr. Colour Theory.
I haven't. Do you know? I tell you what. I will put my hands up. I have no idea on colour theory. I am awful with it.
And this is where I'm going to do. I wish I knew it too, but this is where I'm going to do a big shout out to the army painter. Because
yes, with their they do their awesome things.
They do the tricolour system, which is
love it.
Amazing because you basically they tell you which 3 colours go together, and they're like base layer, and you buy them, and it works, and it's fucking awesome. It's so good, and
I have their airbrush range, and it has the exact same thing, and it is phenomenal.
Yeah, that little tricolour system is so good, and yeah, please sponsor us, please. You're like my main paint range. I'm not beyond begging.
Not at all.
I'm gonna leave my mini there. You've got 1 minute, 30 seconds. Herbalist says, I haven't ever used army painter paints, but they look awesome.
How dare you?
I'm assuming she shouted that because she put it in caps. Richard, how is the airbrush range, says Dragon School Studios?
It's brilliant. I love it. It barely needs anything added to it through the airbrush. I tend to do it. It's just out of habit. The tri system works. It works amazing. It's brilliant.
Yep. I don't have the airbrush range, but I do want to get it because it's thin. And one of the whites that I use is a Vallejo airbrush white, and it's fantastic for painting on, not just airbrushing. And I really, really like that. So I want to test out the airbrushes for things like using them as shades and contrasts and stuff.
I was literally going to say I use a lot of my airbrushes even in hand painting where they're watered down.
Yeah.
And you can glaze with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, they are. From what I've seen of other companies, because like my main army painter range is the war painter stuff. So like the basic acrylic ranges, and I really like it. So I definitely want to try out the airbrush ones. I think the speed paints are a lot like the contrast paints. 2.0 has been fantastic, but I don't have many of them to try out because nowhere local had them. But yeah, in time.
I'm still trying. I'm still trying to get hold of the Mega speed paint set, so fingers crossed. Once I can get my hands on that, it might be a little bit nicer to try a few of them out.
Paintbrushes down. Heads up.
Right,
class.
I'm shoddy tabletop ready.
Okay, so Dragon School says, Richard, airbrush lesson stream soon.
I would say yes, but I'm not confident in my own theory of it, and I might just look like a hapless idiot with a bloody airbrush going, yeah, I can do this.
I don't know, because I mean, like, maybe we just hang out and use our airbrushes, because I know that Herbalist has also got an airbrush, and I've got an airbrush. So what if the four of us got together to make some noise? And
I'll be up for it.
Okay, so...
Yeah, some noises. I mean, mine's always here, and it's I've got an Ultra Eclipse, which is a beautiful thing that Ground Affected put me on.
Nice.
And yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so Herbalist, you say that you've got the TimberTech one, haven't you? And Dragon says I do too, and suck at it. Yeah, and let's get together, because I think we use airbrushes differently, you and I, Richard, because you actually paint big minis with it and stuff, and I mostly use mine for like shading with inks.
Yeah, it's really terrifying how you do certain little things and bits and pieces with it.
So I actually, I definitely think that I would like to hang out with you guys. But Herbalist, with that TimberTech one, apparently last time I was using it on stream, Fluffy, who is my sound tech and amazing, tells me when something is shit. Apparently it wasn't all that bad. One of the things that I use is one of these. This is a microphone pop shield. It's just a piece of foam that you can get for like £1, but this is designed to stop plosives and a lot of sibilance, which is like and so that helps. But actually, the little tiny compressor that you get with the TimberTech ones, it really isn't actually that loud. So I think you'll be surprised at how well it works. And if not, we'll all be able to chat to each other and it'll be fine. So that could be quite fun if we all set up a little stream where we sit around and mess around with airbrushes. But let's talk about the Behir, because that's what we're here for. I'm getting distracted. First it was fruitcake, now it's airbrushes. How did it go, Richard? Let's see this miniature. Oh, dude! Shabby tabletop ready, my ass. That's awesome.
He's got no claws. I managed to sort of nip in a couple of white eyes and a bit of extra shading around the face. I wouldn't be too unhappy putting him on the tabletop. The only thing I would do is I'd finish up the base a little bit.
I think that for me, like, especially with like how you've got the underside of that belly, it's very like blue eyes, white dragon.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. I went down the trying to get it as close to the monster manual as close as I could. Man, my England has just disappeared. And I've gone with obviously those really cheap acrylic craft store paints for the base layers. Dry brush those over a black, and then the underside's got a layer of dry brush of white too. The face is highlighted a bit heavier, and then the horns are brown with skeleton bone, and we've got white with a blue ink on the eyes, which I don't think is going to show up too much there. And that's it, really. For saying that, like, that was a large mini, and that was, for me, quite relaxed. I wasn't trying to speed it or rush it. It was just like, you know, let's just kind of like throw some dry brushing down. Definitely happy to throw that down as tabletop ready. I would like to go in and edge highlight all of those scales, but I'm not going to, because that's not the point of the show. But yeah, I think the Behir, definitely one that can be done in an hour. Look at that thing on your right. Because next week, we are doing the Beholder, and not only is it a classic D&D monster, it's going to be a fucker to paint. It's going to be a nightmare to try and DM at the same time, and I cannot wait. Richard is going to be holding a vote on his social medias for which miniature he is going to print and paint, but also which one is going to be the giveaway one, I guess. And that's going to be on you guys to decide. So once he's put up the poll, that's all on you. I know which ones are my favourite. But yeah, and when we get to next week, I'll reveal the dice, and we'll have a good time. So we'll be back next Thursday. Richard, do you want to tell us who you are one more time?
One more time, I am Richard from Warrior Prince 3D. We are a lovely little 3D printing company. Anything from tabletop, collectible statues, things you want on your wall, book nooks, which are awesome. Also, saying about that with butt nooks, one thing I am doing with them is shrinking them down so you can, and having a nail hole in them so you can pop them on your wall and they look even better.
Whoa.
Yeah, on Instagram, Facebook, Band of Badgers, Dragonborn Industries. I'm everywhere that I can be, and we rock and roll.
We do indeed. And guys, you all rock and roll. Thank you so much for coming along today, for checking out the stream. I'm going to set up a raid, and we're going to go into somewhere else just to kind of like try and support the channels and stuff. I just need to bring up Twitch. There it is. And yeah, thank you so much. And I do hope the dice gods are ever in your favor. Thanks for watching. See you around.